Welcome to She Coaches Coaches. I'm your host, Candy Motzek, and I'm going to help you find the clarity, confidence, and courage to become the coach that you are meant to be. If you're a new coach, or if you've always wanted to be a life coach, then this is the place for you. We're going to talk all about mindset and strategies and how to, because step by step only works when you have the clarity, courage, and confidence to take action. Let's get started. Hi there, and welcome to this episode of She Coaches Coaches. Hey, I'm so glad you're here. Today is the first of two back-to-back episodes about how to quit your job and be a full-time coach. Now, before we dive in, I gotta tell you, we are having a heat wave. If you can hear my fan in the background, I am sorry for the sound, but otherwise, I am just melting. Now, for those of you who live in warm climates, you're probably going to laugh at me when I tell you that it has been 46 degrees Celsius. Now, for those of you that are in the US, that is 115 degrees Fahrenheit. But for us here in Vancouver, Canada, this is an all-time heat record, and it's lasted for days. There's been an actual traffic jam around the shopping mall because that's one of the only places many of us have access to air conditioning. Now, let's go back to this episode. I want to do these two episodes on this one theme, the thought, I want to quit my job. And I wanted to do them for a reason. It is because so many of the coaches that I speak with say exactly that to me. And if they're saying it, it means you're probably thinking it too. So let's talk about it. But I think that it's not just coaches. This is part of a growing trend. We're coming out of the COVID pandemic, and many of us are really questioning, do we want to stay in our current job? For many, they realize there's more to life than commuting, working long days, and then another long commute home, only to spend time doing even more work once the kids have gone to bed or on Sunday morning before everyone else is up. We've all had a look at our priorities, and we've looked closely. We looked at how we used to live when times were kind of what we thought were normal. And we've started to question, what do we want to change? What do you want to get rid of? What do you want to keep? And what do you want to change? So for those of you who aren't coaches, this episode is going to help you too. Let me tell you, I'm going to organize these back-to-back episodes by splitting it into two sections. Today, we're talking about why. Why do you want to quit? And why do you want to do something different? And then I'll describe some of the logistics, that organizing, planning, considerations, money considerations too. Then in next week's episode, we're going to talk more about your thoughts and feelings, the mindset piece, and how life really changes when you quit your job to become a coach or an entrepreneur, and what to do about it. So today, part one, it's all about practicalities. I'm curious though, before we get into that practicality piece, why do you want to quit your job and coach full-time? Pause the audio and answer this for yourself in detail. You may just be used to thinking the thought, oh, I can't wait to quit this job, but are you really sure why? Now is time for you to figure that out. And I'm going to tell you, if the only answer that you can come up with is because I hate my boss, I'd recommend you get some coaching. Maybe there's something you can do to improve your satisfaction at work, something that you can do that doesn't mean you have to quit and try to escape. Becoming self-employed because you hate your job or you hate your boss may backfire because it's going to take time, energy, and effort to become a full-time coach. It is definitely not all unicorns and daisies, but we'll talk more about that next week. Once you understand why you want to quit, you're ready to begin the process. Notice that I say process because you just don't want to decide and then jump to it and quit. It's a process, and you're going to do well to not rush it. If you're used to organizing or project management, excellent. You've got just the skills to make it easier. Those are the 5 steps that I see. The first, decide you want to quit. Number 2, commit to making it happen. The third, work towards your goal. The fourth, making the transition. And number 5, your new normal. We get impatient and we think, I want to do this. I want to quit and be a full-time coach. And then we hop right from number 1, decide, to number 5, try and find a new normal with absolutely no transition. And I'm going to tell you that planning and executing will help make this so much more successful and stressless. When you rush, you're probably going to end up feeling stressed, tight on cash, anxious, and even struggling with feast and famine in your income. So let's talk about each of those 5 steps individually. The first, decide you want to quit your job. Everything starts with a decision. Only you can decide that you actually want to quit and that you're ready to be self-employed. Before you decide, know what you're actually deciding. Yes, you get to coach full-time, which is amazing and wonderful. And I can't think of anything better. But you can easily keep working at your day job and coach 3 to 5 people on the side when you're off. And this hybrid, working your day job and a small clientele, it's a wonderful way to start. And I would highly recommend it. Even when you know you're going to quit, start building your practice now. Start creating clients and coaching them now. Your coaching is going to improve. You're going to know that you're helping people. You're going to be doing more of the things that you want to do. Plus, you're going to be making some extra money along the side too. Remember, full-time self-employment is a little bit different than having a day job. There's no sick pay. There's no paid vacation. There's no paid leave. If you don't work or your business isn't generating money, then you don't get paid. So consider having or creating an emergency fund. Now, remember too, there's no benefits. There's no medical, dental, extended healthcare coverage, but you can choose to buy a benefit package separately. You can do it on your own, and you just pay monthly premiums and it's yours. But if you haven't thought about this before, don't worry, you're not alone. It's easy to forget some of these practical aspects as you go along. Another thing, there is no additional support when you're full-time self-employed. Now, listen, once your business gets bigger, if you choose to go down that path, sure, you're going to have support. You're going to have people that you hire to help you. But at the start, remember, there's no janitor to clean the toilet. There's no IT department to fix your computer. It's all you. Now, deciding you want to quit also means you're going to decide on your timeline. You don't need to tell anyone at work until you're much closer to the day, but for yourself, decide what your timeline is going to be. Give yourself plenty of time to fill your calendar with clients. So as you're leaving your job and walking into a fully functioning business, you are ready to make as much money as you desire and have the freedom to choose your own hours too. So that was number 1, decide. Number 2, commit to making it happen. First you decide, then you commit. Commit means make a plan and follow through. You decided on the timeline. Now, what are the exact steps that you need to do to make it happen? I always recommend starting with a list. Here are some ideas just to get you brainstorming. And it's a pretty long list that I'm giving you here. So use it, pause this audio, write them down, and add more of your own. So let's start with the list. How many clients would you like to have before you quit? 5, 10, 20? How much money do you need saved up for a rainy day in your emergency fund? How much do you want to earn? Do you want to replace your income entirely? Do you want to create significant and sustainable wealth? Do you want to earn part-time and supplement a semi-retirement? Do you have a partner who shares responsibility with you? Do you have shared income, or are you independent? All of these parts make a difference in your selection of timing. Finally, do your math. Make sure that the number of clients multiplied by your coaching rate actually creates the revenue that you want. For example, 20 clients at $100 per hour for 11 months. Remember, you've got to give yourself some time off for vacation, and you're working the year is $96,000. Now that's before you pay any business expenses, any taxes. So my question for you, is that enough? Or is it more than enough? How does it fit into your life? How does it fit into your plan? Next, what about resources? What resources do you already have? Have you already got all the equipment and a home office ready to go? Now, who's there for you? Who supports you when you need a cheerleader? Friends, family, peers? What supplies do you need? Computer, a headset, a microphone? As a coach, you don't need many supplies, but you do need some. What do you need to learn? Do you need to learn how to budget? Do you need to learn how bookkeeping works? What are some of the things you need to learn? What will you no longer need? Maybe your commuting costs are going to be so much less. What do you need to do? What are some of the steps, the step-by-step, incremental steps that you're going to need to do? What other changes might you need to make? Maybe you don't need childcare anymore. Maybe you do need childcare. Make a business budget. How much will your business cost to run? Make and review your own personal budget too. How much do you need each month to pay your bills, your taxes, etc.? When will you work? What days of the week will you work? What hours do you imagine will be the best for you and your lifestyle? Where will you save time? You might save time in commuting. You may save time because you're not in endless meetings. Who knows? Where will you work? Do you have space in your home? Or do you want to go and work in a co-working space? Or do you want to spend time in a sunny climate, living and working and enjoying your life from an Airbnb? Now, once you've created your list, go through and add dates beside each item. And by dates, I mean, how long do you think it will take to accomplish that? And when do you need to have it done by? What must be done before you can give your notice at work? When do you need to have the number of clients? When do you need to have your home office set up? Those are the kinds of timings you need to look at. And remember, as new ideas pop into your head, just add them to your list. In some cases, I know you're going to be making a guess, and that's fine. I know you might not know. You capture everything you can, you do your best, and you can always adjust as time goes on. This step of planning and the next step, number 3, of actually making the goal a reality, does take time and effort and energy and motivation and commitment. But let me tell you, it's worth it. It will make your new time as an entrepreneur so much more success-filled and less stressful too. So number 3, work towards the goal. Okay, you got your list. You know what you got to do. Now it's time to go out and do them. Keep an eye on where you might be falling behind or where things are moving faster than you expected. Notice those things that you keep postponing or procrastinating about. Having your own coach and doing self-coaching is going to be a huge help here. You've never done this before. You are learning as you go. Did you discover some things are really not that important and you don't even need to worry about them? Great. Take them off your list. Your transition just got easier. The most important thing is booking clients, creating revenue, serving your clients, and self-care. learning how to create demand, create an offer that your clients want. Now, that's important. If you're not exactly sure how to do it, this is exactly what I work on with my clients. Be honest with yourself. How many clients do you really need to make the income you desire? And how many do you want? Of course, some things will always work themselves out, but having income is super important. If you're short on clients and your income is tight, suddenly becoming your own boss, it seemed like such a dream, but it can become so much more stressful when it's all on your shoulders. Number 4, make the transition. Your list is just about done. You've decided, you committed. Now it's time for you to give your notice at work and tell them you're leaving. You're this far down the path. Pause for a minute and ask yourself again, I've done a lot. Is there an option for me to phase out slowly? And would I like that option? Or are you better to make a clean break? If you decide that there is an opportunity for a slower transition, that is perfect. Better to know now than after you're finished with that job. Create a proposal and show some options to your company. Talk to your manager. Talk to the senior leader team. Make sure that this is a well thought out proposal with a good, clean exit plan. One that clearly shows how it benefits them, your teammates, and the company. And of course, we know that it needs to benefit you too. If it is time for a clean break, then great. Write your resignation letter and submit it. Only you will know which of these options is best for you. You may find that this step takes a dose of courage. It's a time that you've been dreaming of and working towards, right? But still, it is a big change. It's a big step, and you're almost there. Finally, number 5, your new normal. Here you are. You reached your goal. You decided, committed, planned, implemented. You've done it all, and the transition is complete. Now it's time to create a new normal. I'll tell you, a wonderful way to transition from your day job to full-time coach is to have a celebration vacation scheduled already. Take some time off before you jump fully into your new life. What does this new normal look like for you? Well, you would have made some decisions and had some ideas back when you were creating your plan. It's time to pull that plan out again and have a look. It's completely different being a coach, completely different than being an employee. And as I've said, I think this is one of the best career choices you can make. Now, you may find there's times when you feel kind of adrift, and that is normal too. You don't have the schedule that somebody else has made for you. It's your turn to make your own schedule. You may also find that you feel kind of alone. So make sure that you intentionally create new friendships and partnerships and keep those old friendships and partnerships alive too. Don't become consumed with being a full-time coach. Don't become so consumed with it that you forget all the other things that you love to do. So for this last step, the step number 5 of creating a new normal, there are 4 things that you must do and 1 thing not to do. Let me tell you what they are. Do, set, and achieve goals. Keep building and growing and enjoying this new life and business you've created. Do, create and nurture new friendships and partnerships. Do, create a schedule that suits you and your life. Do, work with a coach. Coaches are human, and coaching makes our lives so much better. Coaching will help you decide what you want next and support you to get there. Plus, you're going to have way more fun along the way. And now for that one don't. Don't become so obsessed with your coaching business that you forget about all the other parts of your life. So, I've covered a lot of ground today in this episode. This is the practical approach to quitting your job to become a coach. There are 5 steps that I've covered. They are: number 1, decide you want to quit. Number 2, commit to making it happen. Number 3, work towards your goal. Number 4, making that transition. And number 5, your new normal. And we touched on all of them. Hey, I so appreciate that you're here and that you are part of this community. Now, if you want more help in becoming a coach or creating your first clients, or maybe you need some help making that leap to quit your day job, perhaps you need a little bit of support overcoming overwhelm, self-doubt, or procrastination. All of those things are exactly what I help my clients with. Check out the link in the episode notes to find out how to apply to work with me. All right, that is it for today. Again, I am so thankful that you spent this time with me, and I'll be back to talk with you again next week. Thanks again for listening today. Please hop on over to Apple Podcasts and leave a review. Also, I would love to hear from you. Did something that I say resonate? What else would you like to learn about? Click the link in the player and leave a comment on the post. This is going to give me great ideas for future episodes so I can help you best. Join me again next week for more coaching, support, and teaching to help you become the confident coach you are meant to be.